Hello, folks. Hello, folks. Thanks for joining us early. I'm Joe Wesley. I have to look at my name tag to see who I am. And the other guy is.
Come on, say it. You want to say
No, I don't want to
it?
say no. He's the beacon. He claims himself. Now, I'm not sure if that's a warning beacon or an attraction beacon. So that
That's
may be
it.
a topic down the road at some point. But
I'm a lighthouse. That's what I am. I'm
fair
a
enough.
lighthouse.
So, Tommy Hilcken. So, anyway, for those of you who are new to us, thank you very much for joining us. We do start, actually, it's now 8 o'clock. We start on time as best we can. And the
Yep.
purpose of this is Tommy is a recognized public speaker, motivator, coach. And he says that anybody who chooses can become a confident public speaker. Well, I'm in the other crowd that's the genetically born shy introvert, and I just don't get it. But he claims that's the case. So we're having these spar sessions to determine what's what. Now, a little bit of homework here that you can do for those who are not seeing us live. You can visit us through Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. If you do it through YouTube, please remember to sign in so you can leave comments. We are still doing this brand new. It's our 34th one, I guess. So it's not quite brand new anymore. So we had a glitch where people couldn't leave live comments. We do apologize for that. We've corrected that we believe. We do go back and audit. So even if it's after the fact, leave your commentary. So anyway, again, the spar session, let's put us in mode here. I'm going to put us in front of our boxing ring. And I do that
Yeah.
deliberately because, again, I'm chasing half the time, chasing Tommy all around the ring, trying to get him to commit. And he does, actually, but it's more like a rope-a-dope as I'm seeing it, this introvert kind of persona. So I challenge him with questions that come to mind about his premise. And today's question, I know that Tommy loves people contact. And by the way, many people do. And I find that as you look at the media, people biting at the chomp can't even wait for vaccinations to get out and commingle with people, touchy-feely concept. And so I'm asking Tommy today, and I'm going to put this in context. One guy who had noted Tommy, this upcoming talk, he had made a comment that no way he would want to go back to physical effort to meet people. Geez, I got to get my clothes on. I got to shave. I got to use
Wow.
deodorant. I got to get my car gassed up. I got to get there. I got to drive. I got to pay toll. Takes up half my day. Why would I want to do that? So the question is, Tommy, with people getting back together, do you think there's an afterlife for virtual presentations, public speaking? Because I know you love the real live physical concept of it.
Yeah. And I'll take it that in a minute, but I want to go over something you had mentioned about. You said you were genetically formed to be an introvert.
Shy at
And
that, yes.
yeah, I understand that. But the reality of that is, I wonder if it really is genetics. I don't know if anybody's ever done a test on it,
Okay,
like, test your DNA or your personality profile and where it comes from.
right.
So saying it's genetic is it's created from birth that, hey, there's nothing I can do about it. I was born this way.
Well, I'm going to interrupt. My counter premise is guys like you are genetically born to be the way who you are. So that's kind of equal opportunity here.
Yeah, but I think it becomes more of a that's great. I really think it becomes more of a belief system and a mindset
Okay.
that you can make a shift no matter what you think of yourself. That day comes when you say enough of this, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
I got to step up. I got to do what it takes to get my name out there in business. And public speaking is a great marketing tool. Or that's where people usually decide to hire people who can go out and do what they need to do for the
Hmm.
company.
All
Right?
right.
So there's one of two ways. Either you're going to do it or you're going to hire someone who has the ability to do it. And that's an interesting thing. So you were saying about getting back. I went to a networking event, 30 people under a tent outdoors last week in Wayne.
Okay.
And the difference being is, yes, we can connect with people. And this is just me. I mean, whatever people want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the energy was tremendous. People were dancing.
Mm-hmm.
People couldn't wait to talk to one another. You could see them light up.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing being is, for the sake of us as human beings, not so much as business people. I understand, and thank goodness people are deciding to put deodorant on. Very important part of life. I sure hope you're wearing it today.
Yeah, of course. And let's move on. Let's move on to the discussion here.
Now, that's an important discussion. It really is. So that being said, I really think human beings are pack people.
Mm-hmm.
And we connect on an emotional level. And I mean that not so much intellectually about what someone does. You need to get to know the person. And when we say that, you become emotionally attached to someone. Let's put it this way. I like seeing you. I don't like seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like being here. I really like being here. That's emotions. That's emotional. That's something we feel in our gut and we like. And I've been trained to do that my whole life, connecting
Mm-hmm.
with people on a people to people person type of thing. I can talk till I'm blue in the face on here, and you're never going to get the real feeling of who Tommy Hilcken is and how much I care about you.
Folks, I can testify to that also on a 34th event, but we'll move on.
Yeah. No. So that being said, I am I like seeing someone across the room, smile, wave at them. By the time you get over there, you say hello.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? That intimate conversation, that 2 minute little burst of what's going on in your world
Mm-hmm.
really lets people see what's happening now with speaking on Zoom or a platform like Zoom is everybody's getting their pitch out and everybody's educating everybody on what they do. But what I really do believe is the emotional connection will be missing. You'll
Mm-hmm.
get to know intellectually what someone does, but will you really get a feel for who they are and what they do?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel that. I like connecting with people. I like sending them an email. It was great to meet you, see you. And then also, I would like to grab a cup of coffee one day.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I still want to do business with looking someone in the eye and having a cup of coffee. That's
Okay.
me.
I hear that. And I don't argue that perspective. And I don't believe there's an absolute either or concept. But how do you
Right.
address this young man? I don't know his
Yeah.
age group, but in terms of his perspective, that he says, I will never go back. Now, that's an absolute statement. I don't believe in that stuff. But clearly, is there wiggle room for people like him that what would draw him, other than the ease of the moment, which he was
Wow.
expressing a whole lot, I guess, that are you indicating that virtual presentations are the death knell, or in terms of the issue of post-vaccinated uh, environment, or is this? Do you think there's still a place, perhaps, for
You know
that
what?
platform?
I think I appreciate what you're asking here, and maybe something we can talk about. But is there going to be a generation gap in networking? That's a
Mm-hmm.
great question.
Mm-hmm.
We've often talked about generation gaps, and people like yourself and me, we like people. We like being out. It's kind of like a social. It's a mixture of social and business, and I enjoy that
Mm-hmm.
and always have because that was the only way to go. But I guess the answer is this results. Are you going to be able to get the results you're looking for virtually, or are you going to need to make the shift to going live again?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about results. Are you meeting the right kind of people? And I will say this, the one thing that the younger people are thinking is that you can expand yourself now and not leave the house, and we could be on a networking event in Idaho right now. That's the thing that's interesting,
Mm-hmm.
is that you can really expand who you're touching and who you're meeting because of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, I think it's going to be a fine mix. And if you're going to choose to do it virtually, you might as well virtually do it in New York City from where New Jersey. In other words, we should really get outside of our zone if we're going to do it
Mm-hmm.
virtually. So we're connecting with people we wouldn't be able to. Let's say somebody in Pennsylvania out by Pittsburgh, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to drive 8 hours to a networking event, but you could hop on one and be part of one. You could be part of one in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to do that, you might as well expand your reach. And if you get the opportunity, go out live in your local area, connect with the people and start to build those relationships. But yeah, it's an interesting time right now. And this is the first time we're really starting to talk about it, that people are starting to get back out. So
True.
where it's going to go, we'll see. We'll talk about this in episode 948.
Fair enough. Well, folks, what Tommy just said, we are a timely entity here. So we are on the cusp of what's happening,
Right.
maybe not yet so obvious. We talk about, you make the generation gap, and I hadn't thought about it in that manner, so I appreciate that concept about young kids. I saw a cartoon caption once that grandma was having family over for Thanksgiving dinner. And she has the board games out on the table, and she's got the son and the daughter and the in-laws and the grandkids, and she's prepared to go with it. Everybody's tied down on their phone texting, and she's looking around totally confused, like, what is not going on here?
Yeah.
So I guess as old farts look at it in a certain manner, and I certainly appreciate it. When I was a kid, I used to joke with a friend of mine, summer break, high school syndrome. What would our kids do to freak out us as parents? Because we were always freaking out our parents. And I said, one day we're going to start wearing clothes where the tag for the clothing is on the outside and not the inside of the clothing item. And that was a radical thought when I was a kid. But now everybody's got the little tag on the outside who's making that particular product. So, and I think being old school like you, Tommy, I tend to agree that you lose something without that personal touch. And I guess the humanistic scientists can argue whether we're better off, worse off in communicating, whatnot. I'm not at that in dialogue here. But as you express, it may be a hybrid that, yes, if you're presenting a skill that's not physically necessary. So, for example, if you repair overhead garage doors, you may not want to connect with somebody in Anchorage, Alaska to make a house call. I can understand that.
Good point.
But if you're providing a service with people, and I've heard that more frequently, that maybe the hybrid system can work based on quality. One lady I know, she's a coach. She says, well, if the trip now is going to be over an hour and a half, I'm going to consider doing a virtual presentation rather than a physical, more efficient use of my time. So I guess that could work conceptually. And to me, the more basic thing is you and I are talking to each other about a question that 2 years ago, it would have made no sense. What do you mean, talk on the internet? I can meet the guy in half an hour or 45 minutes. But then the people say, throughout human history, I don't mean to get too philosophical, but I think it's important for the moment, that we've had always pandemics, epidemics, pestilence, wars, famines, floods, or you name it, it's happened. And we have still thrived. Maybe that's an overstatement. We've still existed as human beings on this our home, this planet. And the philosophers have said throughout history the most creative moments of human society have occurred as a result of chaos. And that means we have to change to move ahead. And when people talk about getting back to normal, I'll be so glad when that happens. I think of the dinosaurs who were saying, I'm glad when this cold spell will snap and we can move on. Right. So you and I are talking about a concept that hadn't occurred to me until fairly recently. And we'll talk more about it, folks, as Tommy said, as time comes up. And by the way, this is just the two of us. Share your thoughts, share your questions, share your commentaries, not only with us, but anybody else out there that you think might benefit from these sessions.
I want to throw something out to you that you were saying, and I appreciate everything you brought up about, connecting with the kids and that little meme of, the aunt or the grandmother, getting dinner on the table and then wanting to play the games. And that's our mindset. That's how we connected as human beings. But I want to share this with you. I have two grandkids, 14 and 11. And I had my daughter, my son-in-law, and the two grandkids over. We had dinner. And I said to the kids, in between dinner and dessert, we're going to play a game called Pokino, which is what I grew up playing with my Nana and my mother. And we all sat at the table and gathered and communicated and laughed and had fun and enjoyed a group mentality, a group laughter, a group, and we came together as people. So I did it at my house a couple of weeks ago. We had the time of our life because the phones were off. The kids never experienced it. See, what's going on with people is they've never experienced it, so they don't know how good it could possibly be. So they're just used to being on their phones. If you take them out of that element and you put them into a group situation, it becomes all that more open. Everybody's talking, smiling, making fun of one another, jousting around the table. And I think that's where human beings come together. Even in a networking event, 10 people sitting at a table, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of energy that is very important to me. Now, if you're like me and you need people in your life, I don't want people. I need people. I must be with people. I am truly a pack person. I like my private time, but when I'm out, I want to be with a group of people. I'm a concert lover. Do I want to watch a concert by myself? Of course not. look at the energy of having 10,000 people around you, right?
Right.
So I don't need to watch it by myself. I've tried that. They put concerts live stream on television. Oh my goodness, it's the worst thing that ever happened.
Now you do understand when you say it's me, you're a people person, you need to be around people. That goes to my issues that's in your genes.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of my commentary. And when I say genes, it's not necessarily DNA encoded, but
Right.
it's who you are. And
Yeah.
so the people out there truly are introverts. It's who they are. And they are as alien to you likely as you are alien to them, back and forth. So folks,
Good point.
this is our debate here, that if certainly there's a value in communicating and interacting, and Tommy's very good at it. His experts say, his friends say, his cohorts say, his clients say. And so
If I could get you to say it, it'd be a home run.
yeah, well, that would in this program, so we're not anything close to that.
You're not a friend, you're not a colleague, you're not a family member. Someday I'll figure out who you are.
So I'm representing. That's all I have to say for us introverts and shy people. To take us home in the next 30 seconds, anything? You did a good ending here, and I had to interrupt. But any comments?
You know what? I think everybody's going to find out. And like I said, I truly think if you're getting the results you want, let's just be talking business, not social. If you're getting the results you want virtually, or the results are even better, who am I to argue? Because business is all about results, right? Numbers. You know,
Sure.
It's all about the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. So if you could hit your numbers virtually, you know, God bless you. Me, I'm going to need to mix it in. I like the idea that I could get up at 8 o'clock and do a networking event and be done by 9 and move on to something else. I really do. And I'm a solopreneur. I work by myself. So those 3 hours you're talking about, I don't get those back. So there's a great value in that. So everybody will figure it out. Everybody's got to feel it out now, because we're in a whole new world. So where it goes, it's entirely up to you.
Fair enough. And we're here to help you at least think about it and hopefully act on it also.
Awesome.
Folks, thanks for joining. Please remember to share your comments, and we're going to sign off now. See you next Monday.
Thanks, Joe. Good.